Right, you lot. In tonight's video, I'm going to cover West Ham beating Hull City 5-1 in the Carabao Cup. An easy fixture for West Ham. There's no getting around it. We were very comfortable. A lot of attacking flair on display. I just thought Hull didn't really offer anything in terms of physicality, in terms of creativity. It was a real one-sided game. But in this video, I want to cover what were the main takeaways from it, and in truth, who were the main players that came out the best from the performance. First and foremost, Andriy Yarmolenko, phenomenal. 2 assists, 2 goals. You know, a real quality player. Looked dangerous every time he got forward. His dribbling ability, the ability to take on the fullback. He can cut inside. His finishing as well was on display for that final goal. That lovely little left-footed side pass into the net. He's a brilliant player. He's technically very, very sound, and that's why he was able to chalk up the goals and the assists that he did tonight. And listen, I'm not going to sit here and say that Hull City are the same team as Wolves. Of course, that isn't the case, but he still has something to offer this club, and particularly in that final third, he's dangerous. He can create chances. He's got fantastic delivery. There are things about his game that I think West Ham need. The only thing about his game that he doesn't have is pace. That's the only thing, and that's maybe why Moyes throws him on 30 minutes before the end. If we're in the ascendancy, maybe he can nick something. But for me, when you've got a player like that has performed the way he has tonight, I would look to maybe integrate him into the first team on Sunday. Maybe potentially start him. Secondly, Manuel Lanzini. Manu doesn't get really the credit. And again, I'm probably going a little bit off piste here because yes, his injury, he hasn't been the same player since. It is just against Hull City. But I thought tonight, in terms of his position, showed how West Ham can still get the best out of him. In that final third, he was dangerous. You know, he was linking up very, very nicely with the midfielders, very well with Felipe Anderson when he was playing more offensively. That is a real trait of West Ham's play tonight. The offensive ability, players getting forward and having the licence to do so. Yes, of course it's because it is against Hull City, and previously it was against Charlton, which is why these players are impressing. But I do believe Moyes looks to try and play the likes of Anderson and tries to get him to cover for the left back. You've got Lanzini, tries to play a little bit more central and come deep. Keep that player where he can naturally affect the game. I would like to see him play for West Ham in a number 10 position. I can't see it potentially happening this Sunday, but I feel that going forward, we need to use him and his abilities, and I believe we can do if we play him further forward. And there'll be a mention as well to Harrison Ashby. Listen, Ashby played really well tonight, and from what I saw, he's not a natural right back. He is a wing back. He can get forward, but every time he got forward, he caused Hull City problems. He can either go around the overlap, he can cut inside. His variety in terms of his attack, his ability to get forward, his pace, puts defences under pressure. I don't think he'll play for West Ham in the first team this season. It was unfortunate that he went off with the injury that he did. But there is something about him in terms of his quality, his attacking play, that makes me feel that he would really benefit from a short loan deal, potentially to a League One side or a Championship side. Championship might be too physical for him, and we haven't really seen enough of that. But in terms of his raw abilities, in terms of his attacking mindset, I'd like to see him test chances on. I'd like to see him test himself in one of these divisions. And I think one of the things I said on the stream as well were our young players need to get game time. There's no point in just keeping them in the under-23s and under-21s. They won't really progress there. They need to go out on loan, get a regular amount of games, show themselves, work on their weaknesses before they get to the first team. And listen, we've seen with the likes of Ngakia and Johnson more recently, some of these players can get in the squad. Ellis tonight as well got in there. So there is a pathway for them. I know we all talk about them getting sold off, and maybe that will be the case. But for me, he looked very, very promising. He looked very good. He offers something different from that wing-back position. And personally, I would like to see a lot more of him, even if it isn't in a West Ham shirt, in another shirt, and definitely playing more regularly. So those were my 3 real promising players from tonight. 3 massive performances from them. Of course, it's just the Carabao Cup. We'll move on to the next round, potentially play against Everton away, which will be a much tougher fixture. But some of them players, particularly Yarmolenko, I would like to see maybe get a chance and a shout against Wolves. But that was my take on the game. Until next time, take care.